Hey guys, I'm Christine with Kimbap TV, empowering you to live a happier and safer life, especially if you're a fellow domestic violence survivor. In today's video, I want to introduce you to one of my good friends. She has experienced a lot in her life and she's using that to help others as well. Let's get started. So this is Alyssa Spielberg, and we met a couple of years ago when I was starting my own storytelling company called Kimbap TV, and you were launching your nonprofit called Giva, Giving is Getting. She hired me to make a couple of videos, and because we were both new and getting started and trying to help each other out, we bartered. And so Alyssa, every time I think about you, I think about two things, Chanel and Louis Vuitton. And I brought them here today so you could see them again.
Oh, wow. That brings back a lot of memories.
These purses were Alyssa's, and these were two of 100 high-end luxury purses that you had in your closet. And you told me a little bit about your story, but at the end of the day, you were trying to get rid of them because you were trying to replace them with positive things you can do for other people.
Absolutely.
But these purses to me are like my most prized possessions now. To know that my work got me these purses, it gave me like the sense of empowerment, you know? And they went to a lot of different places. I did some travel vlogging, as you know, and so this one went to Spain, this one went to Texas, and all these other places. And so they're being put to good use.
That's great. It's just such a blast from the past to look at that and just remember how important those things were to me, of getting that Chanel in 2007. I bought that in Beverly Hills, and just how consumed I was with stuff and things. And just today, like, I'm in flip-flops and my life has changed so much.
Tell me a little bit about your story and just kind of where it all began.
I was sexually abused by a family member when I was in my young teens, and I started doing drugs because of that, and just spiraled down, was in very unhealthy relationships, and nobody believed me. My mom didn't believe me. Nobody wanted to deal with that or believe that it actually happened. So I just started acting out. I was doing drugs. I started getting into trouble. It went from cocaine to crack to not knowing how to take care of myself, not knowing how to fend for myself. About 12 and a half years, I was working in a gentleman's club as a VIP and champagne hostess, and not going to college, and I was making money that doctors make. I was a single mom. How I was going to take care of my daughter? I didn't get any money from my daughter's father. The more money I made, the more I had to make. It was like such an idol. It was such an obsession. There was never enough. Girls would come to me and look up to me and rely on me like a mother figure and wanted me to protect them. And I was making money off of what they did, and my soul was just so bankrupted. The thing is that without God in my life, there's just no direction. There's nothing. There's emptiness. There's drugs and just self-pity and why me and poor me and not trusting other people. My life was just very unmanageable, and I just didn't want to live like that, and I just didn't know how to change. And I remember being in a hotel room, and I just opened the drawer and there was a Gideon's Bible in there. And I said, you know, I grew up in a Jewish family. Like, we never went to church. We had a Christmas tree and, you know, a menorah, but I know more about my Jewish heritage being a Christian and going to church and reading the Bible and just knowing basic things like love God first, love your neighbor, that this isn't about me. This is about so much more than me. And there's so much more out there than all the pain and suffering that's going on, and that we don't have to go through that. If we just surrender and turn our lives over to God, He really will show us a different life. And I am a living example of how He's worked in my life, and just how blessed and fortunate I am, and just want to share that love with other people.
Most of your life was spent trying to deal with the trauma that you endured as a child.
Absolutely. And just feeling so alone, so angry, so bitter, so entitled, just trying to fill that pain and that void, and it nothing helped.
And you said your drug abuse and things like that have gotten so bad to a point where you were even homeless for a while.
Yes, absolutely. I was. I just, had given up. And that's the thing, is that cycle of 1 in 3 girls are sexually abused, 1 in 4 boys. And that happens. You start first with the drugs. and then, to fill that pain and that void, and then you end up on the streets, and it's just a cycle, and we got to stop that cycle, and we have to say, this isn't going to happen anymore, you know what I'm saying? And that we're here, we understand, and that we love you, and that there is love. Like, sometimes we just feel like we don't have love in our life, and the love that I get from God, that he gives me, and that he gives me that hope that no matter what, just keep going, just take one more step forward, is just such an inspiration. And it's just been really pinging my heart more and more that we just have to get out there and stand together and stand strong, because it takes a village for us all to come together. All of us that have been through different backgrounds, different stories, different situations, and, just reach out to people that are suffering and hurting right now, that more than ever, with people being self-isolating in their homes, and with this virus going on, and uncertainty about future, and uncertainty about life and health and all these things. Like, I don't worry about them anymore, because when God says, I will never leave you nor forsake you, I take that to heart, and that he says he created me before the foundations of the earth, and that he had me in mind. And so whenever my brain starts wavering back into that insecure feeling, or those feelings of doubt, or whatever that I'm going through, I just remember that he loves me. He's got a plan for me, and just to stay on course. And, just even talking to you about this, of like in the last 2 years, how he's humbled me and worked in my heart. And, it's called sanctification. It's a whole lifelong process. This isn't like, all of a sudden you believe in God and your whole life changes. And he says you will go through trials and tribulations. And the thing is we do. It's just who we have in our boat with us, who we trust going through these processes of life, and knowing that, yes, we all want a nice house, we all want the nice things, but those aren't the things that are my focus today. My focus is, if somebody's struggling, or somebody needs a hand, or someone needs just a hug, or whatever it is, that like I'm not so worried about what I'm going through, that I can actually acknowledge other people around me, and that their pain and suffering is real.
So such a transformation.
Oh my gosh,
yeah, it's like up and down.
Absolutely, to not only now having a nonprofit, but having a flourishing business that, of course, during this pandemic, we've had our ups and downs, but God's always been faithful and always provides for us. And it's only because he has given me that hope that I could leave that life of working in the club and taking the money that I made from there, all the money that I hoarded and was so important to me, and now starting a nonprofit, putting all my money into that, all my money into our screen printing business, and saying, God, this is all yours, whatever you want to do with it. And then coming to this point of being here, sitting with you and saying, you know what, let's get together and put our minds together, and women together, like-minded, and be able to make a difference and help those that are struggling right now. And whatever that looks like, and wherever this starts and wherever this leads us, it just takes a little bit of faith of a mustard seed to say, God, you know what, here I am. I'm here. I've seen what you've done in my life, and I want to do that in other people's lives and show them that hope, and that there is a way out.
What I admire the most about you is the fact that you take action, like, in the most boldest way. Like, you put your money where your mouth is. Yeah. And it's really hard for people to take action, especially when circumstances are good.
Right.
And so, I wonder, like, if there is someone watching where it's really difficult for them to rock the boat. It's really difficult for them to leave a current situation because of safety, because of security, because of whatever.
Right.
Like, what do you want to tell them?
Well, what I want to tell you is that if you feel that in your heart, you have to take a chance. If we have faith, we have to leap out into that faith. If we want to make a difference, if we want to make change, and we believe that, we have to live it out ourselves. So I can't come to you and say, you should do this and this and this, if I'm not willing to do it myself. So the same thing is, as 2 years ago, I got on my heart to start the nonprofit, and I put all my, my resources into it, and a lot really didn't happen at the time, but God was positioning for what he was going to do in my life and through my life. But he had to do a lot of more work through me for me to be able to get that done. My purpose in life is to make a difference. So if I really believe that, and I believe in the promises of God and what he says he's going to do in my life, I have to take a chance. And if I could change one person's life, just one person, that's everything to me, because one day God's going to say good and faithful servant, and that you were obedient. Like, this is something that is so important. There's people that are dying out there. There's people that are being abused. There's people that are in bad relationships. There's people that are strung out on drugs tonight that are not going to know how to stop, or they're so worried because of this pandemic or whatever. And the thing is that God put his hand on me and he says, I got you. And I believe that. And I've seen it. It's not just belief. It's that I've seen his promises, faithful and true, come through in my life time and time again. And believe me, it hasn't been easy. And there's times where I've doubted and I've gotten depressed, and it's just the humanness in us. But I humble myself and I say, Lord, here I am, and what can I do for you today? Because what you've done for me is his son gave his life for me, and there's no greater sacrifice than that at all,
Is that why you're so bold about your faith and speaking out about it? I find that so difficult. I think maybe because partially I'm from a news background, and I have to keep my thoughts and opinions to myself. And even one time when I was doing a stand-up, like a live shot, my news director called afterwards and asked me to take my cross necklace off.
Oh, wow.
And so, I was just being taped up. I couldn't speak. And so even now, doing my own thing, and largely like why I'm doing this empowerment series is because I'm trying to be obedient to God and not waste my second chance at life, but it's still hard for me to be so bold in speaking out like you. And so what is it? Because I know obviously that's not always been your story,
The thing is, I used to be so worried what people thought. God's given me life. He's given me a second chance. He took me out of the gutter. I didn't deserve it. I didn't earn it. It's a free gift. And if I can share that with somebody, that I can't take any credit for that, for anything that I have. I used to be like, I did this, I got that. No, God gives, and all good things come from him. And just, it's so important for me to share that it's not religion. It doesn't matter if you're Asian or Jewish or black or white. God says, love him, love our neighbors. And he told Abraham, I'm going to make all nations from you. So for anybody with all this stuff that's going on in the world, it's so upsetting to me, because I look at you as Christine, you're my sister, like I'm like Jeremiah. I want to stand on the mountaintops and just be like Jesus, because he literally grabbed me, little old me that didn't deserve it, that was, the worst of the worst, and just pulled me out of the mire and out of the dirt and just said, I got my hand on you and I love you. So why wouldn't I want to tell everybody about someone that loved me so much to want to do that for me? I protect people that have hurt me, and I'm not going to protect and tell people about what changed my life. So I'm very bold in my faith, and I'm very proud of it. And just, Jesus, I love you. You're the great I am, the Messiah, the Savior of the world. You take all my ashes and you make them beautiful. And I wouldn't be here today. I just want to make a difference.
And I think just on a personal front too, both of us, we now have very healthy relationships. You said you were a single mother for a long time. When I got out of my domestic violence situation, I honestly didn't think I was going to get married.
Me neither.
But I found, and both of our husbands are followers of God, and they walk the walk, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So do you feel like in some way that's kind of like a gift that we got from making it to the other side too?
Yeah. Dave is total a gift to me. And, we went through our hard times and we went through our struggles just like every other relationship. And things aren't always perfect, but we have a marriage that I always dreamed of. I put God first, and then my husband, and then everything underneath. And when I keep it in that pecking order, it's amazing how and I get out of the control seat and out of my thinking and the way that I was raised, and humble myself, my life just goes really smooth.
Any big lesson that you've learned from your whole experience so far? Anything that stands out to you?
Love is the greatest gift of all. People that come into your life that care about you or show you anything, don't take that for granted, because sometimes we're moving so fast that we don't see the silver lining in things. And a lot of times people don't realize we lose stuff, but God always provides something else for us, and it's always better. And I'm learning that sometimes I want things when I want them, and that his timing is not our timing, and he knows what's best for us, and he will always take care of us the way we need. So that's been a big thing in my life, is just learning to be loved and just love.
How do you trust people again after having been violated so badly?
It's just healing inside and working on yourself. And I think that once we become healthy, we're around healthier people. We put ourselves around where we're at in life. So as long as we're working on ourselves and as we start knowing ourselves more and knowing that we don't deserve that bad behavior, we don't deserve to be treated like that, we deserve self-love, I think that we start learning how to put up those healthy boundaries. And that's what I struggle with, were those boundaries and learning what's healthy and what's not healthy, and just healing myself a little bit at a time.
What's your biggest goal right now?
My biggest goal is to really take my nonprofit globally, and just to be a voice, and for women to stand up, and no more abuse, no more injustice, save the children, next generation. We're a voice. We are going to make a difference no matter what it costs. And I think it's going to take a lot of people, but I truly believe that taking this globally, that's my dream and my goals, and I'm not going to give up on that. I believe if we keep speaking it, and that's how God did. He spoke life into existence. So I'm putting it out there to you, God. We got to take this globally, and I believe that he's going to open borders that no man's ever opened before, and use all of our stories for his glory. You know, at the end of the day, this is all about him, and people coming to know him, and having a relationship with the God that just loves us so much, and that it's so easy, and I just want to share that with people. We're all from different backgrounds, but we all stand together, united, and just spread love.
Anything else you want to add or share?
I just want to say thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and can't wait to see where it takes us.
Thank you, Alyssa. And thank you guys so much for watching. If this video inspired you, please share it with someone you know, and make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you again in my next video. Bye.
Bye.